Isabella Montgomery stepped into her penthouse apartment on the 23rd floor of the Whitmore building in London. Warm golden lights greeted her after a long, tense day at the advertising agency. Her designer leather bag slipped from her shoulder as she sank down onto the sofa, exhaling heavily at the thought of tomorrow morning's meeting, a campaign she had poured her heart into. Securing the Viridian account would catapult her career to the next level. She picked up her phone. Over 30 unread messages glowed on the screen, mostly work notices, a few good-night wishes from friends, and a string of messages from Nathan Reynolds, her boyfriend of 2 years. Just skimming them made her hands go numb. "Isabella, are you going to reply? Where are you? Why is my phone off? Can we talk?" The distance between them had grown. Nathan was constantly busy with his partners, and lately he'd grown cold. These texts were the last straw. One mistakenly sent image from the account n.r./_partners showed Nathan embracing a young assistant. Even her best friend's soothing words couldn't calm her. Do you really want to believe his love was true? Isabella shot up and strode into the bedroom, where Nathan's shirt and tie still hung, faintly scented with the cologne she used to adore. She clutched the crisp white shirt, waves of anger, hurt, and resolve crashing through her. Half a world away in San Francisco, Sebastian Clarke was living his own nightmare with Victoria Summers. As project director at a tech startup, he'd been the poster boy of success, polished, capable, constantly supported by Victoria, his gorgeous influencer girlfriend. But today it all came crashing down when he saw Victoria hand in hand with a young actor on Instagram, captioned with gushy words, "My forever muse." Sebastian stood in his empty studio as late afternoon sunlight slanted through the tall windows, illuminating scattered project reports. He opened his Dell laptop to text Victoria, only to be interrupted by a Skype call from his mother, worried he hadn't answered all morning. "Are you okay, sweetheart?" her gentle voice asked. "Mom. Things are a bit messy. Tell me, let me help." He shook his head, ended the call, and stared at her old message blinking on screen, "I love you more than anything." He sneered inwardly, love could be just an empty word. In frustration, he shoved the laptop onto a chair, grabbed his coat and car keys. "One whiskey on the rocks at the Alchemist," he whispered, "to wash down this pain." United by betrayal, Isabella and Sebastian unwittingly embarked on a joint path of revenge. She in London, he in San Francisco, yet fate would bring them together on a whirlwind business trip, and their shared plan would begin to unfold. Late afternoon sunlight filtered through the broad windows of Harbor Brew in San Francisco's Embarcadero, casting golden flecks across dark walnut tables. After 2 intense days of emergency meetings with the Viridian board, Isabella Montgomery decided to change her workspace in hopes of fresh inspiration. She pulled up a chair by the window, set her laptop on the table, and ordered her favorite almond latte. Moments later, Sebastian Clarke entered, still smelling faintly of whiskey. He chose a quiet corner, placed his battered laptop before him, and sighed at the Instagram notification tagging Victoria. As always, he took a sip of black espresso, trying to chase away the storm cloud in his mind. A sudden sneeze from Sebastian sent Isabella's stirring spoon clattering to the floor. "Sorry," he blurted, crouching to retrieve it, face flushed. Isabella looked up, curious blue eyes meeting a tall, elegant stranger whose fatigue mirrored her own. She forced a polite smile. "Don't worry, let me help." In that brief moment they recognized empathy in one another's gaze, shared pain of betrayal. Sebastian laid the spoon on her table, but couldn't stop staring at the woman with auburn-tinged hair and impeccable style. "I'm Sebastian Clarke," he offered with a half-smile. "Thanks for rescuing that spoon, otherwise your coffee might have taken the no-return route." "Isabella Montgomery," she replied, shaking his hand. "And sorry again for the spill." After the awkward introduction, they sat together at the next table while Isabella waited for her fresh latte. Sebastian ventured, "You work in advertising, right?" I recognized the sponsor's tone. She blinked but nodded. "Yes. I'm dealing with some personal issues, hence the change of scenery. What brings you here?" He gave a wry grin. "A quiet spot for espresso, and to figure out how to deal with someone." They exchanged a knowing look. Isabella decided to open up. "I sent my Viridian pitch deck to Nathan Reynolds, my ex. We were about to sign a multi-million-dollar contract, but today he accidentally dropped me for his new assistant." Sebastian frowned, eyes lighting up. "I was just dumped from a collaboration with Victoria Summers. She leaked confidential files to a rival, and paraded the romance online." Isabella gasped. "Victoria Summers? The Instagram influencer? Unbelievable." He nodded bitterly. "Social media seems real. Until it isn't. I trusted her too much." They shared a heavy silence, then she laughed softly. "So we're mutual victims of betrayal." "Funny," Sebastian smiled. "London and San Francisco are worlds apart, yet fate brought us here with the same objective, revenge." Isabella studied him, noticing the determination and loneliness behind his eyes. An idea sparked. "Why not team up? I handle media and PR, you handle tech. We could deliver a double blow, make Nathan and Victoria pay." Sebastian raised an eyebrow, intrigued. "Good plan. You run the PR angles, I exploit the tech vulnerabilities. We'll leave them no way back." They clinked coffee mugs, a pact forged. In that moment Isabella felt a surge of purpose, not only revenge, but a shared anchor so she wouldn't feel alone in a world of false hearts. "Let's begin," she whispered. "And if it goes well, we'll be unlikely allies." Sebastian's eyes warmed as he replied, "Allies, and perhaps more." Their coffee cooled, but the seeds of their scheme, and something tender, had just been planted. The clock struck 5 p.m., marking an unpredictable new beginning. That evening in London, wind off the Thames whipped around Isabella's penthouse as she sat before her computer. Notifications blinked from San Francisco. She and Sebastian had just finished their first video meeting, a blueprint for their two-pronged assault. PR strategy: Nathan Reynolds. Release an exclusive leak accusing Nathan of disrespecting a major client, backed by photos Isabella had secretly recorded in a clandestine meeting. Launch #Viridian deserves better on Twitter, LinkedIn, and CEO forums. Tech strategy: Victoria Summers. Sebastian would deploy code to exploit a security flaw Victoria inadvertently left exposed when uploading internal documents to Google Drive. Create a phony fan club chat group and then have it flooded with fake accounts accusing her of copyright infringement. Isabella drafted a Slack message from a supposed insider, leaking Nathan's meeting image to Anita, a journalist friend. By morning, London's ad community buzzed with rumors. "Nathan Reynolds, disrespecting Viridian? I've got proof, photos and emails. At Viridian Corp deserves the truth. #Viridian deserves better." The hashtag trended within hours. Isabella messaged Sebastian. "Nathan's in PR crisis, cornerstones asking hard questions." He replied, "Awesome. My side hasn't gone live yet, but Victoria's already in damage control over here. Her fan club's chat is spammed with complaint bots." Elation mixed with adrenaline. Revenge tasted sweet for the first time since their betrayals. In San Francisco, Sebastian stayed up late, guiding Isabella through each tech maneuver. He set up dummy accounts, commented loudly on Victoria's posts. "Did you get permission to use this content?" During her live stream, a few savvy fans raised the copyright question, sowing doubt. A blogger published, "Victoria Summers, Glamorous or plagiaristic? Fans raise copyright scandal. Sebastian narrated every twist to Isabella. Her followers are wavering. A couple more targeted strikes and her reputation will crumble. As they worked side by side over screens, Isabella noticed Sebastian's warm laughter at a newly written spam script, so different from his earlier cold reserve. And Sebastian realized Isabella's dedication and care, even for her vengeful partner. One night, after a small victory against Victoria, they paused their chat. Sebastian exhaled. I feel strange. Never enjoyed vengeance so much, yet I feel guilty. Isabella typed slowly. I know. I thought revenge would finish things, but I'm exhausted. Maybe we went too far. Their webcam windows showed two people no longer just allies, but connected by something fragile and hopeful. On Sunday they met again at Harbor Brew, the site of their fateful first meeting. Isabella ordered a cappuccino. Sebastian walked in bearing a warm croissant. He smiled. I think we need a break. She nodded, eyes soft with empathy. And maybe figure out what we really want, revenge, or healing. Instead of plotting, they shared dreams and loneliness from the past months. Outside the cafe the city lights sparkled, but within those walls they found a warmth they'd long missed. 3 days after that meeting, Isabella and Sebastian were ready for their first coordinated strike. They logged into Zoom at 9 p.m. London time, 1 p.m. San Francisco, to review progress. Under soft lamplight, Isabella composed an email to over 20 industry magazines, posing as a Viridian insider exposing Nathan's breach of exclusivity and threatening to pull the multi-million-dollar contract unless he answered publicly. She hit send with renewed vigor. If Nathan Reynolds does not publicly explain himself, Viridian will terminate its partnership with Whitmore Holdings. By morning, #Viridian deserves better was top trending on LinkedIn. Tech CEOs were openly questioning Nathan's conduct. Meanwhile, Sebastian opened his terminal and ran a Python script to flood Victoria's Instagram comments with spam bots demanding, "Did you get the original creator's permission?" During her evening livestream, she stumbled over repeated accusations. A scandal blog quickly posted, "Behind the scenes, Victoria Summers copyright accusations." Sebastian leaned back, satisfied. First phase success. That night, over video call, Isabella sipped her latte anxiously. Nathan's fighting back. He's hired lawyers and threatens to sue the magazines. I'm nervous. Sebastian reassured her. It's all legal. We have the photos and emails. You backed everything up? She nodded, drive copies and off-site backups. Good. I logged all bot traffic too. We're covered. Relieved, Isabella smiled. Thank you, Sebastian. Without you, I'd be a wreck. He hesitated, then confessed. Honestly, since being betrayed, I've never felt safer than when you were on my side. Not just for the scheme. For me. Isabella's voice caught. Me too. Revenge brought us together in ways I never imagined. To celebrate, Sebastian impulsively booked a London dinner at a cozy spot. They met at La Petite Flamme, overlooking the old streets. Red wine and beef Wellington arrived, a dinner both elegant and intimate. Between bites, they shared hopes and fears. Sebastian said earnestly, "You deserve so much more than betrayal. You deserve love." Isabella's eyes glinted. Thank you, Sebastian. I hope one day this revenge ends and we can just be us. They toasted that wish, the end of one chapter and the beginning of another, where their feelings began to flower alongside their vengeful plot. One weekend morning, Isabella suggested a full day off to meet in person. Sebastian booked the cheapest afternoon flight and arranged to meet her at Heathrow at 2 p.m. When he emerged from arrivals, Isabella stood waiting with a bouquet of pale purple tulips, his favorite, she'd learned during their chats. He beamed, squeezing her hand. "Thank you. The tulips. They match your eyes." She blushed. "You're too sweet. I'll let you do the flirting now." They took a black cab through London's historic streets. Sebastian told stories of his youth by the Pacific, Isabella recounted European business trips and her love for London's charm. At Hyde Park, under soft sunlight, Isabella spread a picnic blanket. In their basket, French croissants, fresh salad, and 2 boxes of sushi. He grinned. "You remembered my favorites." "I read your profile," she teased. Among tulip blossoms drifting around them, they spoke of real dreams, Isabella's desire to open a creative studio and Sebastian's vision for a community-building app. When Sebastian asked, "Would you give up security to chase that dream?" she replied firmly, "With someone who believes in me, I would." His expression softened. "You won't be alone on that journey." That evening they stopped by a historic cafe near Covent Garden. Isabella leaned on Sebastian's shoulder as he placed hot chocolate before her. No words were needed, they felt the warmth of mutual trust. On the walk home she tripped on a cobblestone. He caught her, concern flickering in his eyes. "Are you okay?" "Just slipped, thank you." He brushed dirt from her knee and gently placed a hand on her shoulder. "Let me heal you." Her heart fluttered as she rested her head against him. Back at the penthouse, they sat together not to plot revenge, but listening to classic jazz. Isabella whispered, "I've never felt happier." He tucked a strand of hair behind her ear. Sometimes revenge is just the excuse to find the right person. She looked up, their eyes locked, calculations melted away, leaving 2 hearts seeking comfort and love. Before parting, Sebastian took her hand. "Can you stay with me tonight?" She nodded, a shy smile blossoming. "Of course. You're my rock now." Wrapped in each other's arms under soft lamplight, they embraced, not as co-conspirators but as 2 people longing to protect and cherish one another. Dawn's light filtered through cream silk sheets as Isabella awoke in Sebastian's arms. Her heart raced, but a quiet fear stirred. Was their bond merely born from vengeance, or could it endure? Sebastian stirred and smiled at her. "Good morning, my purple tulip." She managed a weak smile but gazed into the distance. She still felt tethered to Nathan's memory and haunted by Victoria. All through the night she dreamed of Nathan's hand in hers and Victoria's ghostly image passing by. She feared she hadn't truly let go. Meanwhile Sebastian lay awake texting his brother. "I think I found someone who stirs my heart. But I worry she might slip back to the past. Help me out." His brother teased back, "Be careful not to let her run back into Victoria's arms." Sebastian flicked off his phone, hiding his doubts. That afternoon, as Isabella prepared a LinkedIn response, an email from Nathan's lawyers arrived: "Take down the story within 24 hours or face defamation charges." Her pulse pounded. She called Sebastian on video. "Isabella," voice trembling, "they want me to retract or I'm in big trouble." Sebastian, coldly, "Don't worry. You backed everything up. Let them sue, we have his own admissions." Isabella silent, "I know. But I can't keep risking so much." His scheme had drawn her into legal peril, and Sebastian's growing love made him unwilling to see her suffer. That night, Isabella stood on the balcony overlooking the city lights. She wondered if revenge could ever bring peace or only chains to her wounded heart. Sebastian joined her quietly. "Sebastian, are you okay?" "Isabella, I'm tired. I'm thinking of stopping." He took her hand firmly. "If you want to stop, I'll stop with you. Revenge isn't why I fell for you." Tears brimmed in her eyes. "You're sure? My love for you needs no reason beyond you." In that moment, All bitterness and strategy melted away. Isabella leaned into him, voice choked. So, we end the campaign? The revenge chapter's gone on too long, he whispered, kissing her forehead. Let's write our happy chapter next. Under London's night sky, two uncertain hearts found courage to turn the page, toward true love, leaving the past behind. 2 days after deciding to halt their campaign, both Isabella and Sebastian received startling news from their lawyers. Nathan Reynolds sued the magazine for £500,000 in defamation and produced a clandestine recording implicating Isabella in false accusations. Victoria Summers live-streamed accusations of hackers defaming her and threatened to sue Sebastian for defamation. Isabella's hands trembled as she read. Sebastian had to excuse himself from a critical meeting to Skype her immediately. Isabella, red-rimmed eyes, they're ruthless? Maybe I was wrong to stop. Sebastian sighing, we must face this. If we back down now, all our efforts were wasted. Pressure mounted, Viridian's executives worried the scandal would jeopardize their deal, and Sebastian's board threatened to withdraw funding over the Victoria lawsuit. Their revenge spree had become a costly legal war. They agreed to meet at a quiet restaurant, the Willow Room. Candlelight and piano music set a somber tone. Isabella asked, I don't want to sacrifice our futures for anger. What do you think? Sebastian bit his lip, then answered softly, I know you're exhausted. But I can't leave you to fight alone. If we stop, I lose you. Isabella met his gaze, sensing his sincerity. So we face this together. He squeezed her hand firmly. We're more than allies now, we're family. I'll do whatever it takes to protect you. They enlisted Margaret Foster, a renowned media lawyer. In their first meeting, she outlined strategies. Nathan's case: the assistant's recording is legally suspect and can be discredited by audio experts. Victoria's case: system logs and original files prove bots, not Sebastian personally, caused the spam. A public press conference admitting their misguided revenge would transform public sympathy into support. They scheduled the press event. Isabella stood before reporters, heart pounding. Sebastian placed a reassuring hand on her shoulder. Isabella, I'm Isabella Montgomery. I let personal anger guide me, and I sincerely apologize to Nathan Reynolds and Viridian. I hope we can close this chapter and move forward. Sebastian, I'm Sebastian Clarke. I used bots to attack Victoria. I take responsibility and commit to respecting online laws. I apologize to her and her fans. We ask for an opportunity to make amends and begin a new chapter, one of genuine love. The room fell silent, then cameras flashed. In the audience, Nathan and Victoria exchanged surprised, respectful glances. The conference ended amid a wave of admiration for their courage. The first sunrise after the press conference bathed Isabella and Sebastian's penthouse in gentle light. Isabella admitted nervously, I was so scared last night. I didn't know how the world would react. Sebastian poured green tea and replied warmly, but you did the right thing. Owning our mistakes took true courage. She sipped, enjoying the tea's calm fragrance. She realized their love had transcended revenge and now needed nurturing with honesty. At midday, Sebastian invited her to his new art studio for his community app startup. He decorated the pastel-hued space and laid out brushes and blank canvases. Do you like painting? He asked. Isabella's hands trembled as she took a brush. It's been ages since I painted. He encouraged. Just paint what you feel. She unleashed her emotions in strokes, purple tulips for their first meeting, London's skyline for her new beginning, and a melting clock symbolizing time freed from past pain. When she finished, Sebastian stepped closer, moved. You captured our story, letting go of the past, painting tomorrow. Her eyes glistened. Thank you. I never thought I could paint hope. He held her hand. And I'm grateful to be the third color beside your London and tulips. That afternoon they walked the Thames embankment in light rain. He draped his coat around her and pulled her close as droplets fell. She leaned in, hearing the rain's gentle rhythm. He whispered, I love you. She looked up, heart racing. I love you too. Without grand promises, they shared a warm kiss, an affirmation that every moment of suffering had led to this true embrace. As the rain eased, sunset shimmered on the river like a red kiss on her neck. Isabella rested her head against his shoulder. How shall we write the rest of our story? Sebastian smiled, tucking hair behind her ear. No more revenge, just love. You build your studio, I build my app, and each morning we'll create something new together. She looked into his eyes, shining. And whenever it rains, we'll remember our first kiss under the raindrops. They laughed and held each other as twilight settled over the Thames. Their nascent love had found firm ground through honest promises. Morning broke over London, sunlight flooding the penthouse. For the first time in weeks, there were no urgent emails or lawyer calls, just peaceful calm. Isabella donned her trench coat and, hand in hand with Sebastian, walked to the Viridian offices. She met with the CEO to deliver a heartfelt apology and propose a transparent PR strategy to restore confidence in Nathan Reynolds. Viridian agreed to resume the partnership, impressed by her accountability. As she left, she whispered to Sebastian, I've closed my worst chapter. He smiled. And together we'll write the next great one. Meanwhile in San Francisco, Sebastian met Victoria at his startup office. Offering full logs and a sincere apology, he explained the bot evidence. Victoria, surprised by his honesty, agreed to retract her accusations and wished him well. Sebastian exhaled in relief, no more enemies, only understanding. That afternoon he flew back to London. Isabella awaited him at the station with a cappuccino and radiant smile. He ran into her arms. I reconciled with the past. Now are you ready for our project? She kissed him warmly. Always. Let's turn dream into reality. The following weekend they held dual openings, Isabella's tulip purple creative studio near Covent Garden, and Sebastian's small office in Tech City for his app, Connectify. Former clients turned friends came to congratulate them. Isabella dazzled with confidence, Sebastian watched proudly. As dusk fell over London, they cut the ribbons side by side. Isabella placed her hand on his shoulder. From two Avengers to partners, and more. He bowed, kissing her forehead. All thanks to you. Later that night on their penthouse balcony, Sebastian produced two simple rings. Isabella Montgomery, will you be my life partner, to face any storm and cherish every joy? Tears of happiness glimmered as she nodded. Yes, Sebastian Clarke. I promise to love and honor you always. Their rings slipped onto their fingers, affirming a future built on trust, passion, and shared dreams, no longer broken, but perfectly whole. On an early May morning, bells at St. Martin's in the Fields rang across bright London skies. Isabella and Sebastian prepared for their wedding, a celebration of fresh starts after stormy days. Bride's room. Isabella slipped into an ivory silk gown. Her hands trembled as her friend tied a delicate bow at her waist. She gazed in the mirror, a low crystal tiara nestled in her upto, her face radiant. You are ready, bride, her friend whispered, smiling with joy. Groom's room. Sebastian adjusted his navy tie, eyes shining at the invitation reading Sebastian Clarke and Isabella Montgomery. He breathed deeply and texted her. I'm waiting for you at the staircase, our moment will be beautiful. Arm in arm they walked down the aisle to the organ's rich tones. Facing the officiant, Sebastian took her hand. I vow to cherish you through storms and sunshine, all the days of my life. Isabella, overcome with emotion, replied, I vow to trust, share, and love you every moment. When the officiant pronounced them husband and wife, applause and tears filled the chapel. Under a blossom-arched courtyard at the Savoy, reception guests sipped champagne. Purple tulip petals adorned each chair, jazz mingled with laughter. Speeches followed. Sebastian's mother recalled his youth and newfound capacity for love. Isabella's friend spoke of how a quest for revenge led two strangers to each other. For their first dance they waltzed under soft golden lights, rose fragrances lingering. They moved fluidly, lost in each other's eyes, far from past sorrows. After the festivities, they returned to the penthouse where their revenge partnership had begun. Inside lay two scrapbooks chronicling their journey, tears, laughter, triumphs. Sebastian flipped to the photo of their first rainy Thames kiss. We've overcome so much, and now it's just us. Isabella leaned in. No more hatred, no more fear, only love. They kissed, whispering vows of peace. A year later, London's cherry blossoms bloomed as Isabella's tulip-purple studio flourished and Sebastian's Connectify app connected hundreds of thousands worldwide. One weekend they strolled hand in hand through a park, reminiscing. Sebastian, remember our first meeting at Harbor Brew? Isabella, and that classic spoon disaster. They laughed and embraced warmly. From a campaign of revenge, they'd discovered true love, and now they were riding their happily ever after, shattering no mirrors, only forging perfect reflections of each other.